What's up, guys? This is The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I'm Chris. We got Haley the Bear.
Hello.
Producer Josh.
What's up, Jim?
And Ryan from Miami.
What's your favorite dinosaur? Mine's the thesaurus.
Stop.
Oh, my God.
Coming in hot already.
As always with The Quad, we are a group of four friends. We have four topics of discussion: sports, movies, music, and a hot take. And we're going to jump right into them this week, right after we get the poll winner, which is who?
That's a great question. And by the way, we love polls. This is what we do each and every week here on the Quad.
Polls are the
with Chris
best.
Young.
I love a good poll.
Polls are our favorite. So what you do is you go to Twitter. It's Twitter, the Quad with CY. That's the @ Quad with CY. And the poll winner for this week, as we scroll through, is Steven Spielberg for the best movie director of all time at 67%, a runaway win for Bear and I, for the record.
Well, I mean, sort of. You
That
kind of
makes up for the whole
piggybacked.
bacon sausage. That makes up for the whole bacon sausage conundrum last week. Thank you all, Spielberg fans. We see you.
All right. Yeah. So let's jump right in. Let's go to music.
Music.
So it is CRS week in Nashville. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's Country Radio Seminar. There's a bunch of different radio stations all across the country and even outside of the country. Just played for a bunch of folks from Canada last night. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. And before we get to what's going on this week, I want to ask you about last week, because I started to ask you before we started recording, and I was like, I'll wait. So, yeah, Sam Hunt, how'd that go?
Sam Hunt at the Ryman on Friday night. What a moment. I've never stood on the stage of the Ryman, so like I had to like give myself a second when we first loaded in, and the history there is kind of overwhelming. Like if you really just absorb it for a second, it's pretty overwhelming. It's also weirdly, it feels smaller when you're on stage. It's an incredible venue, but like
Yep.
the back row doesn't feel as far away as it does when you're in the back row. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The show went great. I had one hiccup away from throwing a perfect game. I had an 808 patch that didn't switch over. and
Didn't
so
trigger.
It was for 4 seconds of a song, so it didn't destroy like the set by any stretch, but it happened to be the clip that the Ryman reposted.
Of course it was.
So I just had to like relive it all over again, and I was like, cool.
Did Sam or any of them notice?
Just the bass player, the guy hitting the 808s.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there was no train wrecks. There was no hiccups. The set was really fun. It was a really cool experience, and like my nerves, I went from the most nervous I've probably been in years to like dancing side stage and like having a good time. So it was really cool. It was really fun.
That's
awesome, man.
Yep.
I've got another show later today. Ryan is flying somewhere, who knows where.
Parts unknown.
Back to Nashville, baby.
And I'm doing
well,
nothing.
Hey, you know what? Some of us might trade today. But yeah, CRS week, really, really big thing for country music, and awesome to get to see a bunch of people that I know that are in the country music industry and in country radio. So
Rather than going on a radio tour to all the cities, they all come to you for a couple days.
And they don't do that anymore.
Really?
Mm-mm. They don't do it anymore. Not like when I was getting started. And it's been one of those things that makes me realize how long I've been in the game, so to speak.
Sure.
Where I'll talk to other artists and I'll be like, so how many radio stations have you actually like physically visited? And they're like, I don't know, like 10.
You're like, this week?
Yeah,
No, total.
I visited, like, just for anyone that has not listened to the podcast or hasn't seen me talk about radio before. And trust me, this is not a patting myself on the back, because I saw every Southwest middle seat and every Buick Regal rental car I think that exists at least 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to our good friends at Southwest and Buick. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, we certainly would love that.
In Buick. I love that he threw that in there. So there's like, depending on where people that have come on the panel and people that drop off the panel, all of the radio stations in the country, when they play a record, there are what's called secondary and tertiary stations, which are still really important for people to be able to hear your music in different places. but there's about 170, 176, usually somewhere in that range at any given point in time, stations that make up the quote-unquote panel for country radio, and that's how you get an airplay number one, is when you are being played by those stations more than any other song on the radio. So
it used to be the label would just get you a ticket, and you would drive from station to station, sometimes 3 in a day, 4 in a day.
We would do like 3 or 4 in a day. So there'd be like one early, and then we drive to the next one. We'd be there for lunch, and then we drive to the next one and be there for dinner, take them out to dinner, go to bed, wake up, repeat.
Just back in the Walkman days.
No, Ryan.
How old do you think we are, Ryan?
Ryan, do you even know what a Walkman looks like?
Listen. Okay,
I
somebody
actually
did
owned
turn
a
a year
Walkman.
older a few days ago. Okay, so yes, I had a Walkman. I had a CD player. I actually back in the day. This is a terrible moment for me. But back in the day,
time out. A CD player is not the same era as the Walkman.
I get it. There's two different things, but I did have a CD player. And you ever dropped your CD player and then the CD that you had in it skips and it. This was the issue. It was on one song. It was Cisco's album, and it got stuck on the thong song. So the only song I could listen to
I feel
for
like you've
45
told
minutes
that
on a bus
story.
ride.
Yeah,
thong
I
song.
think you've told that story.
I also think you
before.
did that by choice, and you just listened to it a lot.
He probably
No,
was just like, no.
chance.
Dude, it got stuck. I don't know.
It was just the single. There's only one song on the album.
Yeah, that was it.
By the way, I
was
love
that or
flipping through
Unleash the
radio.
Dragon was the other.
Unleash the Dragon was such a good one. I love the nostalgia of flipping through the radio, by the way. There's nothing better than that. Just
That's an
flipping through
actual-
stations.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. You're really just trying to anger country radio right now, aren't you?
Really? Yeah, you are.
The nostalgia.
They're still very relevant
Yeah.
and still making.
Shout out to my friend Lana from US 1035.
Yeah, I'm sure she loved that. We're just going to clip that and send that to her, Ryan, next time you need something from them. I love that Ryan is also eating while we're doing this.
I love this. Is a salmon with cheese, arugula. My stepmom is an excellent chef. This is fantastic. It's a great breakfast. It's better than anything I had on the cruise, for the record.
So anyway, Looking for You still out there. That is the new single. I just want to remind everybody about that. Since Ryan's busy trying to talk about his breakfast.
Some things
Everything
never
in my
That
change.
is my current single. It's really important to me that you guys like it. Ryan, if you watch on YouTube, is showing you his teeth.
Yeah, did I have anything? Am I good?
Buddy, I can't really tell. Your glasses are throwing me off.
Yeah.
It's like the camera is actually zooming more in on your glasses than it is. Oh, good Lord.
No.
That's my trick. You can't do that.
Okay. Anyway, Looking for You is the current single. So if you guys have not already checked that out, streamed it, saved it, purchased it, downloaded it, whatever you want to do,
Tattooed the lyrics on your arm.
don't do that.
Okay, thigh.
Don't do that.
Okay, back.
Butt cheek.
Just go listen to it, check it out.
Verse on each cheek.
I'm really proud of it. And have I even used that as what are you listening to?
I don't think so.
All right, well there you go. For this week, what are you listening to on Be Selfish? It's my song, Looking for You. So check it out. Rye, what you got?
For the record, also, I got to hear you play All Dogs Go to Heaven acoustic, and that I almost teared up when you played that. I love that as an acoustic version. But my song this week, obviously, Morgan Wallen dropped a new album, Whiskey Friends. I love that song on there. It's awesome. So that's what I'm listening to this week. Whiskey Friends by Morgan Wallen.
All right. Bear?
Yeah. So at my job, we actually have when I say we have an awesome playlist, it always changes, but it always falls back into some old, like 2000s. And this week I'm going to go with Ain't It Funny by J-Lo and featuring Ja Rule. So.
Murder.
Wow. Okay. For context, for
That's
people
what Ja
that
Rule
don't-
used to
yeah.
say, not that he
Yeah.
killed anyone or that we condone murder. Okay.
That was
Whoops. That's one of those references where, like, in my
Like
mind,
you-
it was really funny, and then afterwards, it's like, that seems slightly out of context.
Yeah.
Another one.
Another one.
That's more in context.
That's
than,
a lot more in context.
Yikes. Mine this week, also last week, a song I co-wrote and produced for Timmy Brown came out. It's a song called Run Around Town, and it's really good, so you should listen to it.
Cool.
Sweet. Let's go to sports.
Sports.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Guys, the March Madness bracket is up.
It's live.
It is live. Make sure you go put yours in. Ryan, would you like to tell them where they can find that?
Yes. By the way, we love doing this. It is tournament time, March Madness. Get those brackets in. If you go to our Instagram, it's in our story. The link is there. If you head to Twitter, the link is there as well. You need to get your brackets in by Thursday. So if you were listening to this, we are recording this on Monday, March 13th. You need to get it on Thursday. I believe that is the 16th. So get those brackets in, come compete against us, and we will figure out a prize for the winner. Maybe some merch, maybe something else. We'll figure it out.
It's usually merch, but you have to do your own. Like, we are here. Just make sure you actually reach out to us if you win. That way we can actually get it to you. I don't think the person last year even reached out who won. So
we had to figure it out.
So please,
so
if
reach
you do
out
this
and
you do want that free piece of merch for participating and doing this along with us, then I need you to reach out to the Quad on either the Twitter or the Instagram.
Yeah.
Or
and
YouTube.
I will send you a customized video as well. You get a free cameo from me if you win. So
That's going to discourage people from
Oh,
joining.
man. Oh, dude.
But yeah, you can find the link on our socials, correct?
correct. Yes, it's at the Quad with CY on Twitter and the Quad Podcast on Instagram. Go find them. Go sign up. Let's play, y'all. Happy March Madness.
We got to get that to Monsell and let him post at the end of this video. Just like that way nobody's confused.
Yeah.
And they can see it because there's a bunch of fakes out there. So
yes.
we've only got one account on each, guys. All right. So March Madness is very interesting. I do want to talk about so find the gambling hotline while I'm saying this, because I was on our friends DraftKings. I was putting down a little bet the other day, and it is probably two of the sweatiest moments that I've had, not technically in the March Madness bracket. Did a 3-leg parlay, and basically when I went to put this in, I had lost like the last 3 bets, and I'm like, I'm going to do one more, and then that's going to be it, right? This is going to be the very last thing that I do for the day, and we'll see what happens. And if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Well, long story short, I won, but it was one of those that was really, really wild, because it was Duke minus 6.5. And if you remember that game, they won by 10, but it was really close until they started fouling to try to win, hoping that they'd miss one. It was really, really close. And then the under 147.5 with Arizona and UCLA, which early on it looked like that was a lock, and then they started scoring at will towards the middle of the game, and I started getting nervous, and then they did that. But the very last shot of the game, Arizona was up by 2. UCLA drove down the court, popped a 3 wide open, and it hit off the rim.
The worst feeling.
No, I had Arizona minus 1.5.
A great feeling for
Great
you.
feeling.
Terrible feeling for basketball.
Yeah, terrible feeling for that kid shooting that shot. Because, I mean, you're wide open. You're looking right there. You know it's like that hero moment. And this is a guy that had already hit, I believe, a couple threes for them in the game down the stretch. And, like, this was just a really great round of championship games.
Well,
And,
it destroyed me in my betting, so not for me.
I mean, shout out to the Longhorns just absolutely demolishing Kansas. And while I was watching that game, there was like 2 tables of maybe 21, 22-year-old guys all in Kansas gear.
Yep.
Jayhawk's not even real.
It's
Not even a real
hawk.
animal.
Do we know what their chant means? I think we've looked this up before.
Rock chalk.
Rock
Jay.
chalk?
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the fact that Kansas has limestone underneath all of it.
Is that really it?
I think so. I think it's
Wow.
pretty stupid.
That's reaching far for a chant there.
I mean,
Rock Chalk Jayhawk is a chant used at the University of Kansas sporting events.
Yeah,
the
I know
chant
that
is
part.
made up of, the history. The chant was first adopted by the university in 1886. Wow, that is old. Yeah, no.
It doesn't say anything.
There's nothing.
I also can read the internet, Ryan. An English professor suggested rock chalk, a transposition of chalk rock, the name of the limestone outcropping found on Mount Oread, the site of Lawrence campus. Bam, Kansas campus.
I'm gonna go to Kansas this year. UCF plays at Kansas for their first year in the Big 12. I'm heading there, Josh.
I got some good recs. I got some good recs for you.
I'm going to go see Kansas State, too, because we play both in Kansas. Two trips to Kansas.
What I have better recommendations in the Little Apple.
The Little Apple. Oh, Lord. Okay. Josh.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? No. Let's go here first. Let's go here. A timeout. I want to save you for the end. Bear.
What?
Thoughts on the Chicago Bears trade?
I don't care what trade they did or what they're doing. They're still going to mess up the draft. That's where my mind is. We're going to mess up the draft. We may have got DJ Moore, but
we got a number one receiver out of this thing.
Okay, but we still need an O-line because Justin Fields can't throw the ball.
Sure, but you have 2 first-round picks and 2 second rounds, I think.
Okay, and when have we ever done something right in the draft?
This year. This could be it. This could be the moment.
They're going to mess it up. That's where I stand.
You're good on tight ends.
Oh my God. I pivoted on this. At first I was of the mind of what you're saying, Bear, of like, why would you give up the first round pick? Then you can take whoever you want to help, flesh out that offensive line. But a lot of those people before 9 are going to take quarterbacks or wide receivers. So if you can get a proven star wide receiver, and they need it because they don't really have one, and then you can add whatever the best offensive lineman is available, or whatever, honestly, the best player on the board at that point that's available at 9, plus you get another first round pick next year, plus you still have a second rounder, and you get another second rounder next year, and all you're really giving up is 8 spots.
I want them to do good. I want them to prove me wrong. They have not proved. They proved me right last year in their choice of coaching and GM because it just fell apart last year, like I thought. And some of the decisions they made, like getting rid of Raquan.
I hear you.
So they have yet to prove me wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong. I want to finally have a good team again. I want to go see us in the playoffs. I want us to not up. Just prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But as of right now, they have not done that.
I think it's a good move.
I do too. I've come around on it because when I first heard about it, I'm like, no. And then I was like, well, I mean, what are they really? If they're not taking another quarterback, they're staying with Fields.
They're staying with Fields. And if your need is left tackle, right tackle, I mean, the entire offensive line, but let's just say an elite left tackle, that guy's going to be there at 9.
Yeah.
So you're not losing anything, and you're also getting another wide receiver plus additional picks.
We'll see.
Right.
I'm always a fan of trading, especially if you're in the top spot and you don't have a need for a quarterback. And this is actually a very quarterback-heavy draft. So you're going to see a lot of teams go quarterback in the first round, which I think leaves Chicago with an opportunity to even move back more if they want to, because I think a quarterback's going to be there at 9 too. I wouldn't be surprised if they move back again and then started to double up on offensive linemen in that first round. But Bear, I'd be happy if I were you, because you have your quarterback of the future. You now have a number 1 wide receiver, and now you have picks to add depth. Like, I think this is the pathway for the Bears to get back to actually being relevant in the end.
Well, again, they have to make the right choices.
I agree, and they have notoriously not drafted very well. But you know what? Everybody wanted Jerry Jones to shut up and stay out of the draft until he lobbied for Micah Parsons. It can happen. It can turn around.
Wasn't he Pollard too? He was big on Pollard too, who's been really good.
Who they just had to tag. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. There's a lot of stuff shifting around. Where did Ramsey end up?
MIA, baby. Let's go. Jalen Ramsey coming down to South Beach, pairing up with Xavier Howard, making the best cornerback combo in the NFL. Dolphins are serious, man. Super Bowl this year. They're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, it's ring season starting in September. Okay. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I don't know about that. I will say,
who's your quarterback?
Yeah, I will say this is probably the best duo at corner in a long time. I would say possibly since
Legion of Boom, maybe.
Yeah. Seattle.
It's the best since the Dolphins have had Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain, who were two All-Pro cornerbacks back there. So I'm excited.
When was that?
A long time ago. The last time the Dolphins won a playoff game is when they were back there. So, and that has been a long time. But I'm excited. Let's go. I like to see our teams making moves. That gets me excited. I don't want to stockpile draft picks. I want to go out and get big, heavy hitters. We're doing that. Let's go. Can't wait for Lamar Jackson to be suiting up as a Dolphin, too. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. On the way out, quick NBA update, and do the Lakers make the playoffs?
They're 500 now, right? They just dropped to 500.
They are 33-35 as of this morning.
Ooh,
7-3 in their last 10. I do think the Lakers make the play-in tournament. The difference, they're 33-35. The 5 seed is 36-33. So the difference between the 6 seed and the 11 seed, not that much. So
couple of games. And how many games are left?
68.
20, right? Less than 20?
14.
Yeah,
14 games. Also 8-2 in their last 10. Your second place Sacramento Kings in the West.
So wild.
First 40-win season since 2006, baby. I'm all in. I'm a Kings fan. Let's go.
We're riding hard, and it's especially nice for me. 1985, they leave Kansas City.
Yeah.
They were the Kansas City Kings, so there is an emotional tie to it. I think the Lakers make the play-in. I think the Jazz and the Thunder, who they are behind, are going to start slipping in order to get better draft positions. They have nothing to play for this year, which would put them at least in the 9 seed. So,
all right.
I wanted to do a quick little baseball announcement before we exit the sports section here, by the way.
Yep.
Got my Rays schedule, really excited. Almost 70 games this year on Valley Sports. So really looking forward to it. Got a lot of road trips coming up. I will be going to Kansas City, by the way, Josh. So I get to finally try some Kansas City barbecue right after the All-Star break. But really excited. If you guys didn't get a chance, please go check it out. You can watch on the MLB extra innings anywhere across the country. But really excited. Baseball opening day starts in 17 days. So really looking forward to it. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Congrats, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
That's huge.
Are you, just before we jump off of it, anything you want to see the Cowboys do? Free agency? Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, honestly, they're kind of in one of those positions where they're going to lose a couple pieces, and what do they add? I think the only way for them to add is through the draft. They need another wide receiver that they can trust, because I really expected Gallup to move forward and take that step forward, and I haven't seen him do that. CeeDee Lamb, when he's put out there on an island. Now, Dalton Schultz, awesome, but isn't his contract up? Isn't he a free agent?
I think so.
Yeah, we've got to get him back, because he has become that security blanket for Dak, like Witten was for Romo all those years. And I would hate to have to try and find another tight end to take that place, because he was the guy that kind of put his foot forward and said, hey, raised his hand, right here. I'm right here.
Yep.
So I just really do think that we've got a lot of work to do. And I don't mean that from any perspective other than just there's certain things that they are going to be limited with this offseason.
Yeah.
And I mean, it still is the offseason. But as we move to the draft and we go towards the start of the season, making sure that roster is what it needs to be is going to be really important. And it's also really important for Dak to find some consistency. He's been in and out, and a lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people go, well, he didn't really take care of the ball at the end of last season like he should have. Well, no, he didn't. But he's also, going in, getting hurt, coming out, going back in, having to readjust to what everybody else was adjusting to with a backup quarterback who did a fantastic job. But there's just a lot going on there. I would love to see some consistency this year, not just from him, but from the group of going, all right, we know who our people are. This is the core team, And then, what everybody hopes for is no injuries. But
guys, we have breaking free agency news we have to get to, and this is just coming across the wire, by the way. I want to make sure that our Quad Pod squad knows that the Bills have agreed to a 3-year deal with their punter, Sam Martin, worth $7.5 million.
You consider that breaking?
Hey, anytime we can get punter breaking news, I mean, that's worth making sure we inform our listeners.
Movies. Okay.
I was waiting for something good.
Yeah, you got me on that one, right?
I'm angry.
I leaned in and was like, "What? What happened? What happened?"
Lamar? Nothing came up on my phone.
Oh my God!
I do have one
alerts.
more. I do have one more note.
No.
One more note of breaking news.
No.
According to Ian Rappaport, the Patriots are trading tight end Jonnu Smith to the Falcons.
Okay. Creed 3, PG-13, 2023 drama sport, 1 hour and 57 minutes. I thought it was longer than that. For some reason, I thought it was like really long. 88% Rotten Tomatoes, 94% of Google users like this movie. That's big.
People love it.
Still dominating the boxing world, Adonis Creed is thriving in his career and family life. When Damien, a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy, resurfaces after serving time in prison, he's eager to prove that he deserves his shot in the ring. The face-off between former friends is more than just fight. To settle the score, Adonis must put his future on the line to battle Damien, a fighter who has nothing to lose. Budget of $75 million. How much has this made so far, Rye? Look that up real fast. Wow.
A lot more than $75 million, that's for sure.
I know.
Made more than that the first weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. That is just...
It's nearing $150 million right now.
Sheesh.
Was that yours?
Wow.
Mine's all the way over here.
Well, we just got some weird sort of buzz. There's also what sounds like someone cutting down oak trees behind us outside the studio right now. So if you hear that audio in the background, I apologize. Man, so many people in this movie. Obviously, Michael B. Jordan, fantastic in this role. Great movie. For me, it's still always going to be under the shadow of Rocky. But that's only because that's where the series started. I mean, even in the first movie, that's his coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, so it's, to me, that's the jumping off point for this. I get it. I think Michael B. Jordan has really made this his own with this film, though. It was, the second one was good. It was good. This one just has taken to a different stratosphere of hit sports movie. And I think that's due in part a lot to him. If you go back and look at a lot of the roles that he's had over the years, he just continues to impress. I mean, his career is, the last 3 that you'll see are the Creed movies outside of the Black Panther films, which, I mean, if you just took those 5,
you're doing fine.
Holy crap. But then you start looking at a lot of different films that he's done that he obviously took because he believed in the script. You look at Fruitvale Station in 2013. We're going to ignore the 2015 Fantastic Four because no one needs to talk about that. Chronicle. Did you ever see that movie?
I didn't.
2012. That's a really cool, like, sort of indie.
That awkward moment was
movie.
really good. He was in that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild. There's so many different things in here that I've forgotten that he did. Like, going all the way back to, like, he was in a movie in 2007. I mean, good Lord. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. What did you guys think? Did you like this?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
Ryan, did you see it?
Unfortunately, they were not playing it on the Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas, so I did not get to see it this week. Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's pivot, because one thing that I did get a chance to go see, because I went with...
Love you didn't even ask me.
You did. Did you see it?
No, I saw Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. I know. I got to go see it. We're gonna go backwards a week, because I promised I was gonna get to this when I saw it. I did go see it with my brother-in-law, and
me.
Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I found it awkward that you said, "Are you going to ask me?" No, I went to see Cocaine Bear.
Well,
like, you went with us.
Kinda, it was just kind of rude. You went around the room except for asking me.
I knew you didn't see it.
Well, the world didn't know, and now they know.
Now they know. So, yeah, Cocaine Bear. It's so stupid. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually the greatest description you can give for that movie.
It did exactly what it wanted to do. It wanted to be so ridiculous that it was amazing. It was very gory.
It was a little more violent than I expected. Not gonna lie.
It's 100 Ways to Die.
Yeah,
like 100%.
It was yeah.
There was less bear attackage deaths, and there was more other deaths.
The one where she say, "Open the door when I say so."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I will say, spoiler alert. Spoiler.
Some spoilers. There's
the part where the bear fell asleep on him. I was dying.
That was really funny.
It's a girl. How do you know? Well,
yeah,
I died.
Yeah. It's Did you just cuss?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Well, I mean, you're sort of off mic, but we'll take care of it anyway. I thought it was great. I thought for which this is the other thing. Now, granted, the budgets look like they're the same. If you look at, the budget for this movie, it says 30 to 35 million. The budget for Creed says 35 million. But the marketing spend on Creed is so exponentially larger.
The fact that we're a couple weeks out from when this movie was dropped, and there was like 30 people in the movie theater still going to see this movie.
I was surprised. I expected it to be like pretty empty.
People want to see this movie.
But I mean, again, this is the problem with when you are making a movie for just everybody to go grab a bucket of popcorn and watch something they think is funny, and there's like jump scares in it, and if that movie fits your type of film that you can sit down and enjoy watching, it's like awesome. No one would argue that movie or one of the Saw films or one of the horror movies that I enjoy watching sometimes that are made on a very small budget are going to be the favorite film of everybody that goes and watches it. That being said, it always smacks of insincerity to me when you get quotes about like Marvel films that everyone loves, and you have some of these directors coming off the top rope going, "It's not art." I was like, well, maybe they weren't trying to make art for you. Maybe they were making their art for the masses, and it's not supposed to be the most critically acclaimed film of all time.
Look,
I think there's room for both.
There's so much room for both. There's always an undercurrent of people that want to dunk on anything, but the fact of the matter is Nickelback still sells out arenas. Arby's is still in business. They made a bunch of Sharknadoes. Like, there are people out here, okay? I love Arby's, just for the record.
I do love Arby's.
There are people out here that love these things. Like, everyone just pump the brakes a little bit and realize that we can just enjoy. We can just enjoy things. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine, America.
It's fine.
Speaking of art, congratulations, Brendan Fraser, because he definitely deserved that Oscar.
Man. Awesome.
Yes.
He deserved it, without a doubt. Just wanted
Good
to
job,
give
dude.
a shout out to him. But, all right.
All right.
Are we to John Wick yet?
Is that this weekend?
Is that this week?
Oh my gosh, I think it is.
Oh, we're going to have to watch that.
Let's double check to make sure before we decide.
I think it's one more week.
Comes out the 23rd. Yeah.
One more week. What are we going to do this week then?
John Wick 3.
Creed?
You want to do John Wick 3 leading into it?
Yes.
I actually like that. Yes.
All
Yes,
right,
I
fine.
do.
All right.
John Wick 3 Parabellum. Let's go.
If you just want to binge all the John Wicks, go for it. But we'll discuss.
They're available
John Wick
on
3.
Amazon currently
Yep.
for purchase
All
or
right.
rental,
Here we go. Let's do the hot take.
which is a great segue.
Hot take!
It is a great segue. Although, when we were talking about this last week, we were talking about John Wick, and we were talking about Best Director, and we said, what if we pivot and we do Best Action Star? And you guys were like, no, we got to get this one done. So we are going to go with best action star of all time.
Ryan, I know you have to leave here in like
I know you
3
do.
minutes.
I am not letting him go first.
I was just going to be like, get out of the way.
I'm going to let him go second. I thought long and hard about this, and there's so many people, and it is so easy to go Keanu Reeves. That is I think, an easy win if it were not for this one person. Because when you think of OG action star, like the first person that really, to me, kind of embodied that moniker for the movies that he did and the movies he was in, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's a good
Predator. You see all those films. You see all of the Terminator movies. Like, we were talking about it. Terminator 2 is one of the best movies of all time. We were talking about directors, and we started listing movies, and that's one of the ones that popped up.
It was Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's in the name. Last Action Hero. I mean, it to me would be horribly disingenuous for me to not list Arnold Schwarzenegger as the best action star of all time. Now, not recent, of all time. So that's who I'm going to go with. Rye, who you got?
I'm mic dropping here because I got to get to the airport. Bruce Willis,
Of course.
best action star of all time. Just because obviously he stars in some really good Christmas movies. But no, in all seriousness, Bruce Willis, best action star of all time. Love y'all.
All right, buddy. Be
Cheers.
safe.
Bye.
Bear, what you got?
This was really hard for me to choose. Oh, but I'm kind of going. I kind of recency, but this man has only ever done action films. Like, he is just known for doing action.
Oh, I know where you're going.
And they're all really good, and he does a great job at it. I'm going Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
He's
That's a good one.
phenomenal at being an action star, and he has like 30 of them. So,
Well, let's also say some of them are better than others.
yes, but he's still good at doing action in the bad movies.
Yeah, like some of the transporters are like, where's the one?
Expendables.
What's the one where they remove his heart and replace it with a car battery? No, this is an actual movie.
Yeah,
that is the entire premise of this film, is that he has to keep charging himself up, otherwise.
Are you talking about? It's not Crank. No.
Yes, it
is.
is.
Yes,
Crank.
it is.
Yes, it is the most ridiculous premise.
So ridiculous.
But it's awesome.
Sure.
No, okay.
Sure.
Did you forget about that
I
movie?
forgot about that movie until just now. What a watch. I'm
very.
happy. I am happy to take Keanu in
Okay.
this spot. I mean, you have all of the Matrix movies. You have all of the John Wick movies. You have Speed. He has.
Stop there.
Yeah.
Just the Matrix movies and the John Wick movies alone.
That's enough.
That's enough.
What's interesting is no one said Liam Neeson.
You know what? Go ahead.
No, because I brought him up last week too, and he's definitely up there. But I have to, like, when I think of Liam Neeson, I do think of like a badass, like, guy that beats people up and is really good at it. But Jason Statham has done so much more. And
So here's my thing. What do you count as? By the way, it's Liam Neeson,
With an N, not an M.
not an M.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, Taken, the original Taken, I think showed us that a guy who's notoriously not been an action star, quote unquote, can come out of nowhere with a movie so good, and his portrayal in it is so good that you go, wow, that's amazing. And so then they started making all of these movies where, like, Taken 2 and Taken 3,
They were good. They were
They were
good.
good. They were
It should
okay.
count. It should count as one.
it should count. It's one thing.
It's one role.
That to me is not the same as like the Matrix movies. And that is not the same as the Terminator movies. And it's not the same as, any of the stuff that Statham has done where he's had more than one, including the Transporter, I would argue.
The problem, I think, and this is where
Hang on, because look, Star Wars, while there's action in it, when he's Qui-Gon. That's not like that doesn't make you an action star. That makes you like a sci-fi star, right? To me,
it's an ensemble cast. I don't know that can. I mean, there's action, but that doesn't feel like a Liam Neeson movie.
Nonstop was an action movie, but did you ever really watch that movie? No. The Commuter, which is also another movie on a train. Did you watch that?
Nope.
No. Did you watch Ice Road?
Nope.
No. Did you watch Cold Pursuit?
Nope.
Kind of the same thing?
Exactly.
Did you watch The Gray?
I did. I wish I hadn't.
I liked The Gray.
Did you watch Unknown?
Nope.
Did you watch A Walk Among the Tombstones?
Nope.
So those are kind of like his run of...
A-Team was good. He was great in A-Team.
A-Team was good. I loved his part in A-Team.
Yeah. But he didn't do that much.
But again, that's built off a product that already existed, and that's nostalgia based for a lot of people.
For sure. I think where it loses it for me for Liam Neeson is Honest Thief, which was just, it felt like, was probably not. There's people that worked on it. They worked really hard. I'm not taking that away. Just felt like, hey, just do the Taken thing and like, we'll do one more.
We'll do one more. When we watched it.
Yeah, like the
and
CGI
like
of the fire
bad
at the
CGI,
end.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay.
I liked it more than you did. I will
did not
say
like
that.
it.
But
I did not
again,
like it.
but again, to me, we're talking about the best action star. And so what is that? You have to have those movies that literally define themselves that define themselves as an action movie.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm not, as you guys know, I'm not a huge action movie person. Like as a baseline, I like them; they're fine, but I'm not like, yeah, Expendables 4, let's go.
Okay, perfect example. When I was looking up a list earlier,
I should have just said Chris Evans as Captain America.
well, but see those. I don't think of those as action movies. I think
either.
those as a subgenre, and that's Marvel films.
Even though it's all action.
It doesn't matter. It's not all action. It's not. I think of those as Marvel films. You look at Sylvester Stallone, could have been in there. They've got Jackie Chan on this list.
They have Jackie Chan on all the lists.
While Jackie Chan is an action star, those are martial arts films to me.
Right. It's
in my brain. It's a subgenre.
Yeah, I get that.
So again, there's a lot of different ways you could go with this. Bruce Lee's on there too, and like all the respect in the world to both those guys, but I look at those as martial arts films more than I do just a straight up action movie.
Can I give you what Jason Statham's description is? Jason Statham is an English actor. He is known for portraying characters in various action thriller films who are typically tough, hard-boiled, gritty, or violent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be
Jason.
Bruce Willis. So you're kind of pocketing yourself with Ryan a little bit, pitting those two against. I think they steal part of each other's votes.
A little bit.
So here we go. All right, that is the poll for this week. The best action star of all time between Jason Statham, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Keanu Reeves. Thank you guys, as always, listening for the podcast with Chris Young. This is The Quad with Chris Young. I have never messed that up except one other time. Good Lord. Here we go. It's Monday. We love you guys. And